today's video we're going to be carrying on with the free PDF from Rita Berman. We're going to tackle this little cat picture today. So the first shade that I'm going to go in with is Fruit Punch 405, and this is from the Arteza 120 set. So I'm going to fill in the dots on the cup with this. Just posted a video on YouTube as well to see which page you guys want to do next for our colour along in Rita Berman's new book. So you guys can vote in the comments below, and then whichever one gets the most votes we will do as our next colour along. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys pick. And I'm also going to colour in the love heart in this pink as well so that it matches. For the outside of the cup, we're going to use lime green 600, and I'm just going to go ahead and fill that in so it should be nice and bright. Do the underneath as well. What have you guys been up to this weekend? Anything exciting? Then I'm going to take Parakeet Green 607, and I'm going to use this to add in some shading. So I'm going to do along the bottom here and just at the very edges, and I'm going to go around the rim of the cup. Just along this side edge here, and I'm only using really light pressure for this because this is quite a dark green, and I'll just do a little bit on the inside here of the handle coming down to the bottom. I'm just going to darken this up a little bit actually because it's not standing out as much as I'd like it to. There we go. So for inside the cup, I'm going to use Caramel Brown 300, and I'm going to fill in all of the cup. So we're going to make this look like a nice cup of tea. What do you guys drink? Do you drink tea or coffee? I tend to drink tea. Then going in with Raw Umber 302, I'm going to go in and add some darkness to our tea. So I'm just going to go over the lines and fill in these little sections that Rita's done. I don't mind coffee. I do have a mocha every now and then, but I definitely prefer tea. That is my drink of choice. I'm just going to darken up this top edge here. There we go. And that is our lovely cup of tea done. Next, taking Jasmine Yellow 102, I'm going to use this to do the pages in the book, so I'm just going to go over this with light pressure and just fill in the pages. I'll do the same for this one down here where you can see a little bit of paper. Then going in with Burnt Ochre 202, I'm just going to lightly go over some of the lines in here and just darken up a few areas inside the book. And do the same for this one. So we're going to do the bottom book red, so I've chosen Rose Red 205. So I'm going to go over most of this with this colour. I'm going to avoid the little edges there and there, so just sort of go around them. And then just do this very small inside edge here. Then I'm going to use dark chocolate brown 310, and this is going to act as our shade colour on here. So I'm just going to go over the top bit here lightly and add some depth to that. And I'm going to go along the bottom edge. And then just along this bottom edge here too. And I'm also going to go along the top edge because it would be a little bit of a shadow from the book above. Now for the next book I'm going to go in with blue, so Robin Egg Blue 503. Because this one's got a fish on, I thought we'd make it look a little bit more like an ocean book. So I'm just going around all the little details, just filling that in. These little bits here. Now for the fish, we're going to start with Apple Green 608. So we're going to do his little belly in green. And then I'm going to do one of these little lines in the same colour green. And I'll do the same one up here in apple green as well. Then going back in with Fruit Punch 405, I'm going to fill in his little face and his tail, and then this extra line here so that it all matches. There we go. And that I'm going to leave because I'm going to do that gold, so I'm going to use a gold gel pen to go over these bits after. So now for the top book, I think we're going to do that in like a purple colour. So we're going to go in with Lavender 409, and we're going to add a base coat to the edge of the book. So I'm just using light pressure here, just getting some colour down. Then going in with Amethyst Purple 416, I'm going to darken up the very edge. So here, there's a little bit sticking out at the bottom there, so we'll get that bit. And then along here, and down the spine of the book. And then I'm just going to add this underneath the label, and just slightly along this edge to make that stand out a bit more. And I'm going to go in with Jasmine Yellow and fill in the name on the book. And then using Raw Umber 302, I'm just going to add some shade to the edges. And then going back in with Lavender 409, I'm just going to fill in this little bookmark that's hanging out. Just add a little bit more colour to this. So next we're going to tackle the typewriter. For that I'm going to go in with Peony Pink 401, and I'm going to use this to go around the keys of the typewriter so it's like a lighter colour behind. Then taking Fuchsia 404, which is quite a dark pink, we're going to fill in the keys. So I'm just using hard pressure for this so that we get a really dark colour. I'm going to use this to go around this line here. And we're going to fill in this little square here too. Then going back in with Peony Pink 401, I'm going to fill in the rest of the typewriter. So I'm just going to use light pressure for this because I'll probably want to put another colour onto there as well as like our shade colour. So I'm just going to use light pressure and just go over and sort of fill in the block of the colour. Then going in with Plum 406, I'm going to use this to add our shadows. So I'm going to do a shadow under here. So this is quite a darker colour. And then I'm going to do a shadow around this edge. And just bring that down. And just use harder pressure when you're close to the line and then lift the pressure off as you come away so that it blends out a bit easier. So I'll do some up here in this corner. And then I'm going to follow it down this line here. Do some underneath this little label. And I think I'm going to do this bit here and just along here darker as well because it's sort of pushed back. So just lift the pressure as you come to this bit. Okay. So then going back in with Peony Pink, we're going to go and blend that all together. So just use normal pressure now and just go over all the light pink. Take it over the plum as well, that just helps to blend it all together nicely. So we've got some more paper, so I'm going to do the same again, going with jasmine yellow, and we're going to do a base on the paper. So just light pressure on this, and I'm going to avoid the love heart. And then we've got some here coming out the back, so we'll do that as well. And then going back in with raw umber 302, we're going to add our shade to the paper. So here I'm just going to go light pressure, but I'm going to sort of fill all of that in because it's behind. And I'm going to do the same for this one, and the same for this one over here. So we want it to look like it's a little bit further behind, so if it's a bit darker, it'll look like it's a bit further back. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow here around the printer itself, or the typewriter itself. And then I'm just going to go over these lines where the writing would be and just add a little bit of colour onto there. And I'll just add a little bit to the edge there and this edge here. So using Fuchsia 404, I'm going to fill in the love heart on here. So it's nice and bright. I'm just going to darken these up a little bit as well. Okay. So going in with Turquoise 406, we're going to do the bow on the cat. So I'm just going to go over with quite light pressure on this and fill in the bow. And then going in with Deep Teal 510. This is a little bit of a darker shade, so I'm going to start adding in where I want the shadows to be. So I'm going to add some under here and just follow that line down. And I'll do the same here, so just go over this line and just follow it down. I'm going to fill this bit in here along the edge. So for the bow bits here, I'm going to darken up these inside bits. And we're going to add some dark onto this side of the bow, of the knot. So we'll just go around the edge there and just leave the lighter colour in the middle. And then I'm just going to go around these edges. So just all the way down to about there. We'll do the same for this side. I'll just add a little bit of shade under here as well. Just go over our little lines, darken them up a little bit. So now going back in with turquoise 604, we're going to fill this in. So I'm going to start here and just fill that in. And do the same for these parts, and I'm just going to go over where we've put in the deep teal, and it should blend it all together quite nicely. There we go. And then just to bring an element of pink into it, I'm going to use Fruit Punch 405, and I'm going to fill in these little details here in pink, just so it's got a little bit of pink on it, so it sort of matches everything else. So for his nose, I'm going to use Peony Pink 401, and I'm just going to go and fill in his little nose, and then I'm going to fill in his little cheeks here, so I'm going to give him some pinky rosy cheeks. I'm just doing little circles there just to add them in, and we'll do the insides of his ears the same colour. Just going back in with Robin Egg Blue, I can see I've missed a bit of the book here, so I'm just going to fill that in. There we go. So for the cat, we're going to go in with Marmalade Orange, which is A110. So I'm just going to go over and base him in this colour. I'm just going to use normal pressure for this. Just fill him in. So we'll do his tail as well. We're going to avoid his little stripes. So we're going to do them a different colour. His little face. I'm just going to go over the pink where we've put on his cheeks as well. go around his little stripes and fill in his ears. So for his stripes we're going to use orange 113. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the stripes that are already there. And on his tail. And then we're going to add some darker colour onto this part of his ear, the back part, and just go over this line here, bring that down. So here we're going to add a little bit of orange too to this part of his ear, and do the same on this side, just add the line in. I'm going to go over by his whiskers, fill that bit in there, and I'm going to do a little bit down here around his bow. Then I'm just going to go over his little mouth, so I'm just following the lines, just darkening that up a little bit, and then I'm going to do his eyes as well. With light pressure, just a little bit of shade around the edge here and around this edge. So I'm going to do the same for the tail, so I'm just going to add light pressure, do a little bit of shade in there. We'll have some at the end of his tail and along the inside edge, or the outside edge should I say. And then here underneath the bow I'm going to add some shadow in between the bow on this side, underneath. And then along this line here, and along this line here where his little legs are. I'm just going to use light pressure to go along the bottom edge and just sort of bring that colour up. And I'm just going to do a little strokes there to give him some little fur bits. We'll do some on his little head as well. And a few on his cheeks. Okay, so for these little leaves that we've got in the background, I'm going to go in with lime green 600, and I'm just going to fill these in lightly. And then we're going to use parakeet green again, so it's going to sort of match the cup that we did. And I'm just going to go over and add some shade into these. So I'm just doing the one side, and I'm just using light pressure as well. So just taking it straight across the middle, so that they're two different colours. We'll do the same for this one. And this one. And for these ones, I'm just going to do a little bit of dark at the bottom. And then taking Rose Red 205, so we use this for the book, so I thought we'll use this for these little berries. So I'm just going to fill these in. Okay, so for the background I've decided to use Salmon Pink 204, so I'm just going to go around and fill this in. And then taking a gold gel pen, so we're going to use, this is just a Link Shine gold gel pen. I'm going to go over and I'm going to fill in this little tag on the book, and we're going to do like a gold strip on here, on the red one. And then I'm just going to fill in these tiny little embroidered bits on the book. And then for these dots, I'm going to do these gold as well. So I'm just going to fill them in the gold gel pen. And then just taking a white gel pen, I'm going to add a little bit of highlight to our little cherries. And then I'm going to highlight the keys on the keyboard. So I'm just going to do a tiny little half moon on each of the keys. And then we'll just add a little highlight onto there. And we'll do some highlights in the T. And on this little love heart, we'll give that a little highlight, and the same for this one. And then we'll add some to the spots on the cup. And there you go, you guys. That is our finished little picture. For you so you can see it a bit better. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.